So today we're doing 10.6 segment relationships in circles, and we have 3 theorems to cover, which will give you 3 different formulas to use. So let's get started. Number 1 is called segments of chords theorem. So if you guys remember what a chord is that when you have a circle and then you have a segment inside it, that's a chord. And we have 2 chords intersecting, that's A, B, C, D, and let's call this E. So the formula for this one is that you look at each segment separately. So for example, if you look at this segment AB, the relationship we have here is that we'll have EA times EB. So you see the intersection is E, so EA times EB equals to EC times ED. So when you multiply them together, you actually would have the multiplication would equal each other. Alright, so let's try an example. So here we have this circle right here, and then we can label this part as X, and the left part it's X plus 4. Then this part we call this X plus 1, and the top part, let's say it's X plus 2. So the key for this theorem is that you always have to put whatever is on the same segment, multiply on the same side. So let's say if we start with AB, X and X plus 4 will be on the same side, so that'll be X times X plus 4. It equals to X plus 1 times X plus 2. Then we have to use the FOIL method to multiply everything out. The first part is X squared plus 4X, and then the second part it will become, oh never mind, this is a equals X squared plus, you multiply everything, equals plus 3X plus 2. And then to solve for this, when you subtract X squared from both sides, this cancels out, so it'll be 4X equals 3X plus 2. And if you subtract 3X on both sides, you have X equal to 2. So as long as you keep in mind that it's whatever's from the same segment, you multiply them, equals to whatever's from the other segment. They would equal each other, multiplication. Alright, let's talk about the second theorem. So for the second theorem, we have the circle here, but then instead of having the segments inside, we would have the segments on the outside. So let's say we have something like this, and this is A, B, let's call this C and D, and that's E. Alright, so as you can see, we still have 2 segments intersecting the circle, and they meet at point E. However, the difference is the intersection, instead of being inside of the circle, now it's on the outside. And what do we look at is that we still look at each segment separately, but the multiplication changes. Well, it changes in the way, so if you see, we start from this point E, and we have from E to A. So the formula goes, it's EA and then multiply with EB. So EA is only this outside part, but EB is actually the whole segment. So you're not doing EA times AB. It's the EA, the outside part, multiply with the whole segment. And then it equals to EC times ED. So again, EC is only this outside segment, however ED is the whole thing. Keep in mind that's the difference. Alright, let's try and solve for one of the problem. So it is possible that you have the problem being quadratic function. So if you want to maybe practice solving for quadratic function, it will be great. Otherwise, well, let's try to solve one of the quadratic function. See if we remember how to do it. Alright, so let's say, well, actually, let's just start with the easier one. So let's say if this is 9, this is 11, then this is x, this is 10. So let's solve this. You start from the top one. It's 9 multiplied with 20. So instead of 9 multiplied with 11, how do we get 20? It's 9 plus 11 is 20. And then it equals to x multiplied with x plus 10. So keep in mind, you would have to add them up. Alright, and let's see, here we have, it's 180 equals x squared plus 10x so it would equal to x squared plus 10x minus 180 equals 0. Then we would have to solve this equation right here. Just give me 1 second. So when you solve for this, the value is going to be approximately, hold on, I'm trying to find it like that. The answer would actually be approximately x equal to 19.3. Okay, so the reason why I'm not going into detail about the solving process is because the number isn't like a constant. So I'm gonna show you guys another example where I can really show you how to solve the quadratic equation. Okay, let's do something that's like hard. Alright, so here we have the problem. It's that you have the circle. My drawing isn't the best. And then the number goes, the top is 3, this is x plus 2, and then the bottom part, this is x plus 1, this is x minus 1. Alright, the formula goes, the top part, 3 multiply with 3 plus x plus 2, because we need to add them together inside the second parentheses, and then equals to x plus 1, the outside part, multiply with x plus 1 plus x minus 1. Again, we're just adding those two up. So let's clean it. It's 3 equals parenthesis 5 plus x. On the right side, it's x plus 1. And then on the right part, it's x plus 1 plus x minus 1. So it will be multiplying with 2x. Alright, and then again, we clean it. So it's 15 plus 3x equals 2x squared plus 2x. Then we move everything around. It will be 2x squared minus x minus 15, which equals to 0. Alright, and then we solve the equation. There are a couple of different things you can solve for the equation. You can do quadratic, you can do factoring, you can do the quadratic formula, if you guys remember what that is. So let's see if we have something that's like easier to solve. Wait. Sometimes I doubt if I'm doing this right. I think I'm doing this right, but I'm like not having the answer. Hold on. All right, let's try it. So let's just try the quadratic function, see if we can do it. All right, so it's going to be 3 plus x plus 2, so that's 5 plus x, and then x plus 1 plus x minus 1 plus 2x. 2x squared plus 2x, yeah, okay, it's right. And it would be b squared minus 4ac we're doing the quadratic formula. So that will be 1 minus 4 times 2 times negative 15. So that will be 121 for this part. And then your x equals to square root of 121. I feel like I'm not doing this right. I can't remember how to do this quadratic formula. Okay, I'm not doing this right. So that part is b squared minus 4ac, and then the formula goes, it's negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And to plug it in, it's 1 plus or minus 11, because that's squared over the 121, over 4. So your answer would be either 1 plus 11, 12 divided by 4, which is 3, or it's x equals to negative 5 over 2. Which in this case, the answer will be positive, so our x will be x equal to 3. Alright, it's been a while since we really solved the quadratic equation, but again, if you can write down this formula, it's a quadratic formula. It would always work whenever you have a quadratic equation. Alright, let's take a look at the next problem. Alright, so let's take a look at the very last problem, or theorem. So the very last theorem is actually similar to the one we just talked about. The only difference is that now we have the circle, and one side has only one segment on the outside, the other one has like a longer one intersecting. And if you take a look at this, let's call this A, and then C, and then D, and then E. Alright, so the formula for this one, the reason why we are not using letter B here is because we're pretending we're missing the B on this part. So the top part, it will be just EA squared, and then the bottom one will be EC times ED. So the intersecting part, it's EC and then times ED. The top is just EA squared. And let's see, we have, this is 16, this is X, this is 8. So to solve this, it will be 16 squared equals to, the bottom is X times parenthesis X plus 8, because that's the whole thing. So 16 squared is 256 equals X squared plus 8X. Then same thing, I'm gonna write it down one more time. So X would equal to negative 8 plus or minus square root of 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 256 over 2 times 1. So again, we're using the quadratic equation. For the exit ticket, I'm gonna try to make our X a nice number, so you don't have to go through like so much trouble. And the value for X will be approximately 12.5. So the important part is to remember the formula instead of the answer. Basically, the formula is pretty consistent. It's based on the same theorem, and just don't forget how to use the quadratic formula to solve the equation. Alright, that's it for today. If you need the review, make sure you attend our Zoom session on Thursday at 10 a.m. I'll send the reminder on Wednesday. So if you need any help for this section or for 10.7, please make sure to attend. Okay, that's everything.